Before the success stories, the progress, there was you. You who made a choice to grow, to inspire, to overcome your own challenges. At NASM, we're in service of your limitless potential because when you keep growing, we all get stronger. And we'll never stop making your journey our mission. Join the fitness leader. Become a fitness leader. Become a certified personal trainer.
You're listening to the NASM-CPT Podcast with Richey, winner of the Share Care Emmy Award for Social Storytelling and the official podcast of the National Academy of Sports Medicine.
Hey, y'all, and welcome to the NASM-CPT Podcast. My name is Richey, and today I want to talk about something that we've had conversations about before. We've talked about on this podcast, but I keep getting conversations or people reaching out about it from time to time, especially around this time of year where things are starting to go into fitness conference season. And there are these wonderful conferences. I have my conferences lined up that I'm going to be doing throughout 2024. And this is really where it starts to pick up, kind of the end of the school year for the kids. And then it opens up in the summer and people can travel and do these conferences. Now, there are conferences year round, but this is where I get a question. I mentioned that I'll go to a conference or I'm speaking at a conference and somebody goes, how do I become a presenter? How do I become a fitness presenter? I think that's something that I want to do. I think that's a valid question. And I think there are a lot of people out there that are hitting me up and throughout the years that have said, this is something that I want to do. And I give feedback on it and they never do it. And there are some people out there that are listening to this show that are thinking, it's never crossed my mind, but you're going to listen to this podcast and you're going to be the one that follows through and does it. And then you become a fitness presenter. So I'm excited to break this down for you. And there are kind of four major points that I want to bring. But man, for each point, I've got like subcategories and subpoints that you're going to have to look at, things to consider. So for those listening that would be interested in becoming a presenter at fitness conferences, things like that, you want to become a fitness presenter, let's talk about this. What is the first thing that you need to do if you want to present at a conference? You want to be somebody that gets up in front of people and shares content and information. Number one, you need to learn a lot. All right. So number one, you need to learn a lot. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. I think that there's a lot to be said about drive. Like I said, there are plenty of smart people that have reached out to me, but maybe aren't driven to actually do the work it takes to get to where they want to go. So drive is that magic special gift that you have. Learning is something you got to sit down and focus on. So number one, when it comes to learning, what do you got to do? You got to get credentialed. So if you're going to be presenting at a personal training conference, you need to be a personal trainer. You need to have that education behind you. So get credentialed, get your NASM-CPT certification, and make sure that you've got that down. Now, I think also there's going to be rarely these moments where you're like, here's general PT stuff that we're going to talk about. So the second thing within that list of learning a lot, number one is get credentialed. Number two is find an area of focus. So you might say, all right, well, I got my CPT, but now I'm going to progress and I'm going to get my corrective exercise specialist. And that's like an area of focus that you want to focus on. Or I want to get my performance enhancement specialist. And so you go and get your PES. And you say, okay, PES, that's something that I really like. But within the PES, you might find something that you like even more within that. Because again, performance enhancements like strength and conditioning, it's like a general topic and pretty broad. So you want to pare that down even more and say, well, what's the area within that focus that I want to become, number three, a subject matter expert in? What do I really want to be a subject matter expert in? So that might be within the PES, you start doing some stuff and you read and you learn a little bit about Olympic lifting, and that really gets to you. You're like, "Yeah, man, I love the Olympic lifting." And then you become a subject matter expert on Olympic lifting. And then it's much easier for you to be like, okay, now I've narrowed down what it is that my specialty is, and I can start presenting on that topic. Because really, the way that you're going to be able to present on a broad swath of topics is to be a subject matter expert in a very small focus, a very specific topic. And then once people know who you are and they feel comfortable with you, you can say, I have these other interests and things that I've been focusing on and things that I've been working at. And then you can start to add those components in, and you can build your resume a little bit more when it comes to that. All right. So that's all part of the first thing you need to do, which is you need to learn a lot. You need to be educated. So get your credentials, get your area of focus, and then become a subject matter expert within that topic of focus. All right. So number one, learn a lot. Number two, who does number two work for? Number two, host your own presentations. Man, you're sitting around waiting for somebody to knock on your door and ask you to present on their behalf. It ain't happening. But you want to take the initiative. You want to become a presenter. Then you may want to start presenting without relying on conferences to come at your door and say, I think that you, stranger out of nowhere, would be a real delight to speak at our conference. So here's what you're going to do. Consider this. Number one would then host your own presentations. Start at the gym that you work at and offer this presentation to members. Go to your fitness manager, go to your general manager and say, I've got credentialed. I have an area of focus. I'm a subject matter expert in this, and I would like to share that with the members that are here at this gym. Is there an opportunity where maybe a studio room is available or open space on the mat? And I can say on Tuesday at 3 p.m., I'm going to be hosting a topic, or Saturday at 12 noon, I'm going to be doing this topic. Anybody interested? We're going to be coming in and talk about the top 5 core stabilization exercises that you can do to help with to help with low back discomfort. Okay, cool. That could be a really great topic that might pique a lot of interest. Or these are evidence-based ways of helping lose weight. I don't know, what do you want to be a subject matter expert in, and what are those members interested in? What will the management at the gym hear you say and be like, yeah, I bet members would really like that. And that could probably increase membership. And then we can plug that on social media. And that would also be pretty good. We probably get some more people signing up for personal training, and particularly with you. So that would be an excellent idea. And everybody gets on board with having you be a presenter doing something at the gym. And you don't even have to do it for a lot of people. Let's say 3 people show up. Don't matter. It don't matter to me. You know why? Because you're putting that on your resume. You're putting on your resume that that's what you did. You can put that on your resume. All right. What else can I do? Aside from starting, or not aside, in addition to starting presentations at your gym for the members, you can also do it for other personal trainers. My goodness, you're the subject matter expert. Maybe other personal trainers would be really interested in learning from you about what you're doing. That might be far easier for the fitness manager to let you do, because within your bi-weekly personal training meeting where they get all the trainers together, or the monthly meetings, all the trainers are together and they say, hey, listen, at the next one, can you just give me 10 minutes to do a presentation in front of the trainers? You do a presentation in front of the trainers. You know what you just did? A presentation. Put it down. You own it. You did it. You deserve it. Cool. All right. But then what? In hosting your own presentations, you can then mention to your attendees and clients that you may like to do this in their place of work. You're telling your clients that you're doing this presentation, tell other members that you know, come, and it goes pretty well. Members show up, your clients show up, they support you, you did a great job, and at the end of it, you were like, thank you so much. And if you're interested, I could come to your place of work and maybe I can do a presentation at your workplace for your employees, for your fellow employees. Let me know if that's something that we can do. Okay, so now you've gone from doing this at a gym to now maybe moving on and doing this at somebody's workplace. And then you can prepare a short, what is oftentimes called a lunch and learn, a presentation for the workplace where people are like, hey, I stay in the place that I work. I stay there, I grab lunch, I come back, and that's where I eat my lunch. So maybe in this little common area, you just set up a little presentation area and they say, okay, well, while people are eating, you can come in and do your presentation and they can ask questions if they have any questions for you. And you do that. I think another one in the host your own presentations might be doing webinars. So just do your presentations via Zoom and set it up where you're like, all right, I want all of my clients to attend this presentation that I'm doing. I want I'm going to offer this out to people that I meet at the gym. So just as you're chatting with people, just let them know, hey, I'm doing a presentation. It's going to go live. And then at the end of it, you recorded it. So once it goes live, if somebody ever asks you a question on that topic, you say, I'm happy to talk to you about it, but I also did a presentation on it and I can send you a link if that's something you'd be interested in doing. My goodness, this is such a good idea. And so now you are becoming a presenter, but you are doing it on your turf where you're comfortable and in the places that you still need help and support for people to be like, hey, I mean, webinars, you don't. You can do your Zoom version without anybody else agreeing to it. But if you can get the fitness manager, general manager on board, do it at the gym. If you can then get people to say, yeah, this would be great for the workplace and the employees of where I work, then you can build from there. So you are now hosting your own presentations. Now, here's the third thing. First is learn a lot. Second, host your own presentations. Third, build your resume. And through building the resume, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get photos and you're going to get some video clips of the presentations you were doing, whether that's the webinar and you've recorded it. You can do some screenshots of it for that. But when you're up there presenting and you get somebody, even if it's like another personal trainer that's just using their phone, taking pictures, and they send it to you after it's over, taking video of the presentation and sending it to you, or setting up your own phone on a tripod, right? I mean, obviously, if you can get a fancier version of a camera, then that's great too. But there's nothing wrong with just setting up your phone and getting clips of it, because now it starts to build your resume a little bit. Now we can put that on social media. Now you can maybe set up a page. This is my fitness page on my social accounts. I have my own fitness focused page. And there are pictures of you hosting a presentation at the such and such sports club at so-and-so somewhere. Cool. And then there's a little video clip of like the coolest thing that you said that was like a little truth bomb, a little nugget of information where they're like, that was good. And we're uploading that. We're putting it up there. And then you've got little clips that you can forward to some other places as you start to get the option to look at what conferences look like and what they're looking for. All right, cool. So as you build your resume, here's another piece that you're going to have to do. You need to have a list of topics that you have presented or that you feel comfortable and confident presenting, because you're going to have to provide that. These are the topics that I speak on. These are the topics I have spoken on. And these are the areas of focus and the areas where I feel like I am a subject matter expert. And you can then say, all right, that is what I then can submit. And then you do what? After learning a lot, hosting your own presentations, building your resume, number 4, you move into this moment where you are going to submit for open calls to fitness conferences. Now, this probably is going to disappoint a lot of you. The open calls for fitness conferences, because you're getting excited. You're like, oh, the such and such conference is coming up in 3 or 4 months. I want to attend it. I wonder if they'll let me present at it. They knew who they were going to have as presenters and the sessions that they selected a year in advance almost. They knew way before then, which means you are at minimum a year away from speaking at your first conference. All right. This is where we separate the wheat from the chaff, because so many people are going to be like, it's too far away. It's too far. I mean, I really want to do it, but I don't really want to do it there where it's a year out, or now 2 years out or 3 years out, because I have to build my resume and host my own presentations just to get my chops up to go to this conference. Because one thing that's not going to happen is that the conference people are not going to bring in somebody that doesn't have experience, that doesn't have presenting experience, because that's not good for the conference. The conference is going to bring in people who are solid at either, and usually both, the subject that they're talking on, the ability to present it well, and oftentimes subject that they know and their ability to present it well. And if you don't have reps, you just think, I like the idea of it, let me try it on this stage, then that can be really hard for the conference, can be really hard for you if it doesn't go well. So you have to get better at it. You got to get more comfortable with it. You got to get comfortable with the content. You got to get comfortable speaking in front of people. You got to get comfortable knowing that people are twitching and that people are on their phones and people are opening a candy wrapper and that people are moving in and out of rooms in conferences many times. You got to be comfortable with it. What else? Well, you in the submission, I want to point this out, and this is where a lot of people feel like, oh, maybe it's not me. Like, you don't have to have an advanced degree to present at a conference. In fact, you may not even have to have a degree. You got years as a personal trainer, and you've got certifications and advanced credentials because you have really focused and studied. And now you're like, I have been doing kettlebells for a very long time. I have these certifications. I teach. I've done webinars. I set up things at gyms. I do workouts in the park. I've done presentations within my community. Now it's time for you to step up to the big leagues. All right, cool. That's great. So don't let, even if you're like, I'm talking about the best way to increase metabolic efficiency. That sounds fancy, and degrees don't mean that you know more about metabolic efficiency. And just because you don't have a degree doesn't mean that you don't have that knowledge, and that's not an interest and a focus of yours. Now, I still think that you need to cite your sources, and you need to have research backing up what you're saying, but there's nothing that says there's a degree that requires that. So that's something for you to consider. Don't let that stop you. But I tell you what they will require. They are going to require topics. So these are the topics I would like to submit. So, and we mentioned this, you're going to have a topic list already. So with that topic list, they are then going to need a paragraph or so as a synopsis of your presentation. What's this presentation about? And they're going to need about 4 to 5 objectives. The goal of this is here. The goal of this number 2, the objective is this, and you are laying out the objectives and the takeaways that the people that attend your workshop are going to experience. And then submit half a dozen or more, and maybe you get 1 or 2 that are pulled out that they go, okay, at this conference, we're going to select you. And I know it's your first time presenting at a conference, but you've done these presentations because we've seen your resume. You've built that resume and you've developed the resume. You've developed yourself. You've developed your content. You have practiced presenting and getting up in front of people and speaking. And this is your chance to prove yourself. Those options are going to be available for you. Well, Rick, which presentations are out there? You're going to have to look up those yourself. There are conferences all over the country that you have the option and opportunity to submit for. Now, the ones that are really big may have to have companies that sponsor you to go. All right. So companies may sponsor you, but some of the smaller ones, they need people to present there, and you might be the person for it. And this could be a great opportunity for you. And it might be something that you do that you're like, this is something I enjoy this. I enjoy the idea of it, but you're going to have to work for it. All right. Y'all, I hope that you found this helpful. And I do really hope that there's somebody out there listening to this, taking notes and creating a plan. And I hope to see you at a conference one day. And if you are, and I happen to be there presenting or attending, and you see me, please come up and introduce yourself and let me know, hey, that podcast you did on how to become a fitness presenter is why I'm here right now. Let me know that. That would mean so very much to me. All right. It means a lot to me that you stuck around and listened to the podcast. So thank you for being an NASM-CPT podcast listener. Like, subscribe, share with your fitness friends and family. If you get an opportunity, please go onto whichever platform that you listen to and leave a review about the show. It is very helpful for us. So if you leave that sweet 5-star review, I would thank you very much. And if you want to reach out to me, you can do so. Hit me up on Instagram at dr.rickrichey or email me rick.richey@nasm.org. Y'all keep inspiring people to fitness. Thanks for listening. This has been the NASM CPT Podcast.